What's up, everybody? I stopped back with another video. Today we're going to talk about The Boys Season 2. And so far, how's it going? As I said previous videos, I love this show. I love the comic. I was been waiting for this show forever. And Amazon has not disappointed me at all. So far, Season 2 has done a great job of really building on what they established in Season 1 and how different the show is and this universe is from the comics as far as storyline. I've said previously, the storyline isn't really in line with a lot of stuff that's happened in the comics, and that's fine. The big thing to me is it true to who the characters are? Is it true to the spirit of the comics? And this show definitely is. Not just because it kind of goes over the top with a lot of things, but just how the characters are, their personalities, how they interact with each other, how the universe works. It's very similar, and if not like spot on as far as those aspects to what happens in the comic books. The latest episode, we got, man, there's so much stuff going on, but you really get an unhinged, you get to see how much, like throughout his life, how Homelander's used to everything just going his way and getting everything he wants. Even though he's controlled by Vought, he is used to being the man. Like, he's used to everything going his way. In this episode, you get to see how things just aren't going his way. Between like him killing the villain, but also killing the innocent, and then the video going viral, and then people protesting. And he's really into polls and everything. So he sees his numbers drop, and he kind of almost like you see him lose it a little bit in the scene, but he doesn't lose it. And it's crazy, and I love it. Like, that is definitely Homelander in the comics. That's definitely how his mentality is so fragile. His psyche is so fragile. And it has a lot to do with the way he was raised, a lot to do with, him not being a regular person, and how he's always, he's always been given everything. He's always been the man, and they've always catered to him because he is the leader of Seven. He's their Superman. He's their Captain America. Like, he's the man, and everything's been catered to him, and how fragile his psyche really is. You get to see it great in this episode, and Anthony Starr is just killing this role. Like, I love him as Homelander. They could not have done any better. And on the flip side, you got a lot from Butcher, played by Carl Urban, and you get to see how close he is to losing it. Like the previous episode, his wife told him, "No, I'm not leaving with you. My son is more important. You don't care about him." And he didn't, and that hurt him because he, for so long, one, he thought she was dead. And then to see her and have opportunity to get her back, and then for her to tell him no. Now, that's heartbreaking for him. And that shows how close he is to his breaking point. And, you get to see the scene where he's in the rock bar, and he attacks he sees the biggest guy in the mosh pit, and he just goes after him. And he just has so much anger and everything else built up in him. And he really wants to take it out on the Supes. Because in the end, he blames them. He blames Vought for stealing his wife, stealing his happiness. And in a way, stealing his humanity away from him. And then, you have Huey, who, he's like the connection to humanity for the whole group. For the boys, Huey's the one who's the most human. You have MM. He's kind of, but he has his moments where he just goes over the edge. Like I said, with Butcher, we've already seen that, and with the female and with Frenchie, them again, they aren't what you could say, like, they don't have that connection to humanity that Huey does. Even though Huey has to deal with tragedy between his girlfriend dying, and they found out his new girlfriend was a superhero, and how he despises superheroes and all this other stuff, he still, in the end, believes in humanity. He still believes in the greater good. He still believes in helping people, regardless. Be it a suit, be it a regular person. Huey really has that in him, and this episode really showed that. Between that connection and how that allows Butcher to connect back to his humanity, to connect back to who he really is. And you get to see that when they take on Black Noir. And even though the Butcher wanted to die, Huey didn't, and Butcher has at times really treated Huey poorly. Huey didn't want him to die. Huey didn't want him to quit and to basically commit suicide by shoot. And for them to come together and be able to overcome that adversity really was good. And I think that really shows a lot for what's going to happen in the future, and like how their teamwork and how they can work together to overcome these obstacles. And then you also have the storyline between Stormfront and Annie / like that stuff is going on, and you're like, how does Stormfront know? And then for Annie to be like, you think Annie's this innocent person, but she's like, has really become kind of ruthless, and she's not afraid of them anymore. And she's really trying to reconnect to who she is and what she believes she should be and what she believes a hero should be. She's still pure. Like, she doesn't fall into this trap of the cynicism that every other soup seems to have. And that's a good thing, and it really kind of, like, again, parallels what happened in the comics as far as her character development goes. And I love that. And then Stormfront, her little snide remarks to A-Train, but she doesn't like just let it all out. But she kind of lets it know that I don't like you, and it's really because of your color, your skin, and no other reason. But she doesn't come out and say it. She's a closet racist. They're really trying to hold that part of her back as far as what she is now. And her interactions with the other characters, her smart aleckiness, her just overall demeanor towards them, is just something else. And how she manipulates and uses Homelander's insecurities against him, and to really lead him down the path that she wants to lead him down. And, this episode sets up so much stuff coming in the future, like how the episode ended with them getting it on. And it was like a scene straight out of Herogasm. Like, when I was watching that, I was like, yeah, this is like a scene that you would have saw in the Herogasm in the comics. And it was off the chain. So, has me looking forward to what's coming up next. I really love what Amazon is doing. This show is awesome. If you're not, you need to watch this show. This is one of those shows that you don't really get. It's raw, it's really hard hitting, and it's just overall such a great show. If you're watching The Boys, let me know what you think in the comments below. If you read the comics and you're enjoying the show, you're not enjoying the show, let me know why in the comments below. And until the next time, peace.